Hi and welcome to With Linal. Today on the channel we're going to be talking to my sister Farah, who's just about to embark on a kitchen remodel. So if any of you have even thinking about doing a kitchen remodel or have been through one, stay tuned. We're going to walk you through the process from start to finish. I'd like to introduce you today to my sister Farah.
Hello.
She's just about to embark on a kitchen remodel.
Indeed.
Would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
Sure.
As you know, the channel strives to help people with whatever they're going through. And so maybe you're thinking about a kitchen remodel, maybe you're right in the middle of one, or maybe you're scared to death. Hopefully, Farah's going to be able to share some real life events and thoughts that might help you. So Farah, tell me, what made you decide on a kitchen remodel?
Yeah, so we're a family of five. You know, our mother lives with my husband and I and my two children, and this is not a very functional space. We don't have a dishwasher. There's very limited counter space. And we have this gorgeous drop ceiling, which I'm sure you're going to see more of.
Fancy.
And so there were just a lot of things in this space that were not really useful for our family. And so we decided to go ahead and jump into the deep end of the pool and do the project.
Tell us, what have you done so far? What were some of the first steps you had to take to get you to this point?
Well, my hope is that at this point, everything's going to go smoothly from here. It was a nightmare getting to this point, to be totally honest with you. The first thing we did at the recommendation of my sister-in-law was to go check out Lowe's, because Lowe's had worked on their kitchen for them before. And we went to Lowe's at a time when they were busy and didn't have a rep help us. And I looked around their kitchen section and literally walked out in tears because there were just rows and rows and rows of options for things that felt very overwhelming and difficult to choose. And it felt like we were never going to get to where we are today getting ready for the project. So, gosh, you know, we worked with a contractor who made a lot of false promises. 8 months ago, started the process looking for a contractor. Thankfully, he did not move as quickly as we would have liked, because I think had we gotten into the middle of the project with him, it would have been a nightmare. And just lots of time on the internet, Googling, trying to verify what different vendors were telling us about their products. And here we are. Project starts in 4 days.
4 days. So Farah, if you could pick one thing that you would want people to know that you've already learned from your experience so far, what would it be?
Know what kind of contractor you want to work with.
What does that mean?
In my experience, there's two kind of categories of contractors. There's one-stop shop contractors that not only will do all the actual physical labor work, but will sell you the products as well. And they have vendors that they work with. And I found I did not want to work with one of those types of contractors because there wasn't enough price transparency for me to understand what products I was actually getting in my home. And then the other category, which is how we chose to move forward, is a contractor that is only quoting and only charging for the labor, and may provide some guidance or insight into what types of products or showrooms you might go to look for a particular product, but they are not actually selling the materials to you. And I really preferred that because it allowed me to have a little bit more clarity as far as where these products were coming from, how much we were paying for a faucet or a sink, and make trade-offs as appropriate so we got the kitchen that we wanted.
Well, everybody knows I love cooking. And so, Farah, I'd like to know, like, what is your cooking style and what are you looking forward to most after the kitchen's done?
Well, I do not have a with Linal cooking style. I did not get that particular gene. We don't share that gene in our DNA, but I am a much more straightforward, simple cook. And so I, use right now it's a cooktop. We're going to be getting a range top. a lot. I don't bake a lot. I don't necessarily do those things currently. Maybe I will once we have a new kitchen, but our splurge actually was to invest in a higher grade or higher end range top. We have a big family, and so it will allow us to cook large pans all at the same time. And we actually got one with a griddle built in. So be making pancakes and bacon and grilled cheese and all kinds of stuff that we're really excited about. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And to have more than just this space for meal prep.
So Farah, what was the hardest decision to make in this whole process so far?
Definitely the layout of the kitchen, because our kitchen bumps up against our dining room. Right now we have kind of a weird pass-through type situation between the two. And the space is actually fairly large, but it's not functional at all and is chopped up kind of oddly. And so coming out with the appropriate layout has been a huge challenge. And of course, we kind of hemmed and hawed over it. And then one of the contractors we spoke to early on came up with a plan that seemed okay and good. And then at the last minute, this contractor we ended up going with referred us to a kitchen designer who came up with something that none of us had ever thought was even possible in this space, and that was the design that we ended up going with.
Ooh,
so we
great.
ended up making a few tweaks at the end, but for the most part, we ended up going with the design that came up with by the kitchen designer.
Okay. Well, we're anxious to see what the design is. And you said they're going to break ground in 4 days.
4 days,
right?
yeah.
So we'll try to catch a little bit of the groundbreaking, but we will track you a little bit through the process.
Okay.
What's the estimated time they've said?
So interestingly, I would have said 6 weeks prior to yesterday, and we got a call yesterday that our range top that we ordered due to COVID-19 has been delayed, and that will delay the installation of the countertops. Which means that we might be looking at an 8-week project. So hopefully our appliance guy will pull a rabbit out of his hat, but we might be looking at 8 weeks.
All right. She says 8 weeks. What do you guys think? Farah, thanks so much for allowing us to come and invade your space. I do have one final question.
Yes.
When this remodel is all done, would you let me come and play in it?
I'll have to think about it. Yes, of course, of course. It's going to be great, and I'm really excited and to host holidays here and have an opportunity to share the space with our family. So yes, absolutely.
So happy for you. Can't wait to see how it all turns out. And stay tuned for Cooking with Linal in the new kitchen here. Well, Farah, the kitchen remodel is finished.
It is.
But before we take a look at the finished product, let's take a look at the process, shall we? Walk us through some of the process and what you went through and the ups and downs, because we're about to see the finished product, but what was it really like behind the scenes?
Well, first of all, demo was super loud. I don't think I was prepared for how loud that was going to be. Thankfully, it only lasted a few days, but I'm sure our neighbors were very fond of us during that time. It was very, very, very loud, like the house was shaking kind of loud. And we have a house that was built in the 50s and had a remodel expansion done in the 80s or late 80s, I think it was. And so we had, like, my husband calls it, Mike, calls it a Frankenstein house. So we had a lot of patchwork of different projects together. And so that did create some challenges for the contractor to kind of get everything level. And as I'm sure see in the space, it was really involved 3 different rooms. So to get the floor level between the 3 different rooms and take down this wall and do all these things was quite an undertaking. So that was a lot. But overall it went really well. We didn't have any major mishaps. Went well.
Well, we're standing in the same corner that we were earlier, and we're going to take a look now at kind of a pan of the finished product. And so let's take a look. That's pretty remarkable, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's such a transformation. I love it, and it's so clean and spacious and wonderful, right?
Yes, very
Okay.
much so.
So you said that when you were all finished that you were gonna let me play in the kitchen,
Yeah.
right? Remember that?
I do, yes, yes.
Well,
Go for it. I
Let's-
think we have some video evidence, right?
Let's-
Photographic evidence.
let's take a look. That was sure fun. That was my niece, by the way. Hi, Sammy.
Yeah, there's Sammy.
Anyway, so before we wrap up, do you want to tell the viewers the company that did the remodel and how you were pleased or not with their work?
Yeah, very pleased. So we use Pulsar Construction. They're a local family-owned husband and wife team here in the area. And they were fantastic. Dimitri, the husband, is the contractor himself that does most of the work, but no offense to Dimitri, but Elena, our project manager, his wife, was really what made it a very pleasant experience, very good at communicating, meticulous. She did not pressure us. Actually, the backsplash here, we had originally planned a different backsplash. I bought the tiles and everything as it was going in. I think she could just tell I was not loving it as it was going in, and I think other contractors really probably would have pressured us, like, it'll look fine once it's up. And I even said, I'm sure it'll be fine. And she actually stopped me and was like, "You're going to look at this backsplash for a long time. You need to be happy." And she was wonderful. So I'm happy with everything, really, the way it turned out.
And I think on their website, they can find the full project. And so remind us again the company's name and how they might find them.
Yeah, so it's Pulsar Construction. They're located here in Redondo Beach, California. And I don't know, maybe we could even put the link in the description to their website with the video of our project. She did a really nice, like, complete, like, down to the studs type video as well.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's great. You should check it out.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up our kitchen remodel video on this channel. And I wanted to ask, just in closing, if anybody's out there about to embark on a remodel, do you have any last minute tips or words of advice?
Try not to get overwhelmed. I am a planner and I'm also a worrier. And so I thought I had a really good plan. And we did have a good plan, but there were some little hiccups along the way. Being out of the kitchen was very challenging. You saw my daughter in the video, Samantha. I also have a son who was 8 when we were going through the project, and 2 crazy dogs, and so, like, 2 crazy dogs, 2 crazy kids, 3 crazy adults in this house, and it was very challenging making all of our meals on a barbecue and a microwave out in the garage. And so I was glad when we finally got back in to be able to do that, not have to go to the laundromat anymore, because our laundry room was part of the project. And so overall it was just a very good project, but just one step at a time, and even though it feels eternal, it will end. So just hang in there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
just side note, the project happened probably about a year and a half ago, and we're just filming this part now just because I moved out of the area.
She left us in Nevada.
But I come back and visit.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.
Like, seriously, we needed a remodel. Look, we have a Schlitz beer can as part of our exhaust vent for the stove. It needs to be changed.